Big up, big up, big up, people. Welcome back to my channel. Welcome back to Ziad'sZone. Make sure we are like and subscribe and show some love to the channel, man. Big up Mo for the redirect and the raid. Just coming from a stream of Mo screaming and shouting about Chelsea, talking about Enzo Maresca. Andrew was having a go at me. We might have some round two here as well. So because Andrew's joining us, we've got Scott joining us. Listen, Chelsea goalkeeper, is that what we need to get to the next level? Osimhen, Gyökeres, whatever the guy's name is, or do we stick with Jackson? We're going to talk about it, man. Big up to every single one of us locked in, man. Make sure we are liking and subscribing, man. Ziad, the guy with high standards. Yeah, man, listen, this is Chelsea. This is Chelsea. I'm quite younger than all of you here, yeah? Because you're all old. Let's just hold that, yeah? You're all old men, hold that. And I'm young. So I grew up on Chelsea winning. That's what I've seen. Chelsea, WWW, UCL Premier Leagues, light work. Okay, going to Real Madrid, Bernabeu, not being scared. That's what I'm used to be seeing. Not this rubbish of Arsenal or top four or progress or whatever rubbish. None of that. So high standards. Yeah, what we've done at the start of the season, we said, yeah, let's get top four. Now we're in a different situation. Now we're here, now we're there. Let's talk about it. But listen, at the end of the day, we need to do things that's going to be able to take us to the next level. And if Enzo Maresca is annoying me and he's pissing me off, I'm going to speak about it. Big up to all of you that talked to him. Pretty judgmental. Look at this guy. What's this mohair, man? What's going on? Big up to Clinton. Big up Ziad. Been keenly watching Osimhen in Turkey. Convinced he's perfect for Chelsea. His movement in the box is super underrated as well. Well, we could have got him. We were that close to getting him. And let's see if we can still get him in January or maybe in the summer. Big up to JC. Big up to IBB. Ibo. What do you call it? Respect to Ziad. He knows what standards we have. We are a Chelsea Football Club. We grew up on heritage and expectation. Proper Chelsea. This is what you call proper Chelsea. I know some of you don't like the name or the term, but it's proper Chelsea. Spam proper Chelsea in the chat. Let's get proper Chelsea going in the chat. Let's go. Big up to all of you. But we do have a couple special guests. Only a couple, not too many. Scott, Andrew, how are we?
I'm all right, you wallad. I'm fine.
Yeah, wallad. Yeah. I am actually a wallad compared to you lot. I'm a wallad.
What
yeah, Scott, round two is going on here because listen,
round two. There's no round two. I knocked you out.
What is round two? I'm Undertaker, bro. I'm Undertaker.
No,
you can't kill Undertaker.
You're Undertaker right now. He's retired.
No, you can't kill Undertaker. He will always be there. No, Undertaker will always be alive. No, Enzo Maresca trying to piss me off, Scott. I'm not liking it. It's starting to annoy me. Where's Palmer gone? Where's our anonymous Madueke gone? What happened to us scoring 4 goals and creating that 1 billion chances a game? What happened to that?
2 games, Scott. Based off Arsenal, Man United.
No, we don't do that. What do you mean? Palmer barely plays. Jackson, I forget the guy is even on the pitch. Madueke can't even take on a man because he's got about 15 men around him. What happened to Palmer playing close to Madueke? Yeah, Neto is basically carrying our attack. What's happening?
Is this off of 2 games?
It is off 2 games.
This is starting to annoy me. This is not. Well, hold on. This is recent. This is recent performance.
No, yeah,
it's not though. No, but it's not though.
Okay,
like,
so you
not on the
think it's going
to
change?
Not on the chances. Not on the chances thing. The chances thing is 1 game. Because we still created chances against Arsenal, we were the better team. So the chances thing is only 1 game. It was the United game where we were arse. Like we were shit. In terms of Palmer, yeah, it's been like 2 games. But like I think this should, like, we've had this discussion before. I think this just comes down to like players coming back and trying to work things out and work things around players. Because like ultimately, I've said it before. So much of the way we are in attack in terms of like tactics comes from our defense and how shaky it is in parts. And it comes like Reece coming back. Like part of the reason why Palmer, I think, and Madueke aren't playing as well as they are is because Palmer no longer really plays on the right as much. He has to play on the left because we have to invert Gusto.
Okay, but 1 second. What I'm talking about is the way we were playing at the start of the season. The Wolves game, yeah, the Crystal Palace game, the bloody Brighton game. We were literally saying, you know what? I think we came to an agreement that no matter how bad our defense might be this season, our attack's going to score a lot of goals. And we were like, you know what? We're fine with that. But it's going to complete 180. We're barely scoring goals.
I think it's not done a complete 180. Like we're not scoring as many goals, I grant you. But like I think that's because of like decision making in the final third with a couple players. Like Matt, like as much like when it comes to Madueke, for example, I'm one of his biggest defenders in this team. Not because I think he's a great player, but because I think he gets way too much hate from players or from fans. Way too much hate. One of his biggest issues still is his decision making in the final third. Like that Arsenal game, I didn't even think he was that bad. Like the issue is just his decision making. Like the end pass or the end shot is just at the time. He can still he's still arguably outside of Neto, the best ball carrier in attack. Like he's the best outside of Neto. I'd argue.
Scott, this is all funny, nice words, Scott. It's all nice, little nice
No,
words. He's not being good, bro. He's not being good.
Again, like it depends on what you want to argue. Like I'm not saying he's been incredible, but I'm not going to sit here and say he's been the worst player that we've had the last whatever how many games. He hasn't been to the level that we expect. I'm completely fine with saying that. But I think a lot of that comes down to decision making again in the final third. But again, it comes down to him being young. And I maintain, by the way, because I think we'll end up getting on to like the next level things later on. So many of our issues come from defense and goalkeeper. Ultimately, this season, like our attack is not an issue for me long term.
The way we're playing right now is.
No, it's not. Because we've got the talent and we've got the ability.
Useless, man. Jackson's been useless for so long. I think the guy's even playing.
No, but he hasn't, though. And you can see that from the way he plays because of what he brings, and that's why he plays. Outside of like
scoring games, Scott. This all
no,
it is.
No,
it's like
I'm entertaining this because this is obviously something.
No, Liverpool game.
Jackson scored against Liverpool.
Jackson scored and was good.
Okay, he was.
And then he scored the next game against Newcastle.
My main issue is Cole Palmer. The way Maresca is playing right now is not getting the best out of Cole Palmer.
Yeah, but that's not Palmer not playing well the last two games or the United game and the Arsenal game has nothing to do with Maresca, by the way.
Oh, do me a favor, bro.
Outside of the maybe on the left side, bro. Like he's not him playing poorly is because he's been playing poorly. Like for example, let's look at the United game. United game he played like shit because every time he got on the ball, it was too many touches. Trying to do everything at once. Trying to do everything like by himself. That's not a Maresca issue.
Hold on.
Same with Arsenal.
You cannot sit there and tell me Palmer's playing the same. You can't tell me Palmer's playing the same way he's doing in recent games to at the start of the season.
No,
in terms of the position.
Hang on a minute.
Slightly different.
Listen, it's different, but Palmer's not Palmer. This is the whole thing about this fan base and rivals as well. Everyone allowed this Brighton game to cloud how Palmer's actually. Remember, Palmer also never had a pre-season and literally came off and started playing. But Palmer's not actually been playing that well this season. Yeah, overall, he's not.
Until the Wolves game,
he just had that Brighton. That Brighton game was an outstanding world-class performance, and he got Player of the Month just off that. The previous game against West Ham, I know he scored, but he wasn't playing well against West Ham. Against Wolves, I'll credit you. He played well, but
Wolves. Andrew, I'll be real. Wolves until he got the assist, the first assist, he was terrible.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Palmer's not at the standards of last season yet. Palmer is not at the standards of last season at all yet. He has not been what people think Cole Palmer is. He's not reached that level yet of last season, let alone gone above. So we need to stop this. Like Palmer's been outstanding the entire season. No, he's got the numbers. No problem. But playing well is not. He's not been playing to his best this season. Caicedo has been by far our best player this season. It's not even close between him and Palmer. How good he's been.
The other thing I want to talk about when it comes to Palmer, and our fan base keeps doing this, and it irritates the shit out of me when players aren't performing well, especially players that are meant to be quote unquote versatile. One of the things that we talked about, or was talked about Palmer when we bought him, was that he played in multiple different areas for City and for the youth team. He played central midfield, he played on the left, he played on the right, he'd even played at striker at times. So he has the ability to play all along that front three. Striker, he shouldn't ever play there, that's the thing. But he has the ability to play all along that front three. He might have a preferred position, like he might be at his best on the right, but that doesn't mean he can't play number 10 or on the left. He's played there for a better team than us. So he has the ability to play everywhere along that front line behind the striker. So he's just been bad. People in this fan base love to do this thing where if a guy isn't playing well and it's someone they rate, it's, oh, he's not playing in the right position. Like when Neto at the start of the season, he wasn't playing well. Oh, he needs to be on the right, not the left, even though he's played most of his career, the majority of his career actually, on the left rather than right.
Yeah, and he always goes on his left foot anyway on the right. So he always has to come in on
it's the same with Nkunku. Oh, he needs to play in the 10. He's terrible up front, despite the fact he played up front the whole of last season. The whole of the season before we bought him for Leipzig, and the season before that, I believe, as well. So it's like you can say when they've just not been good. Like Palmer, the last couple of games just hasn't been good. Does that mean he's a bad player? No, he just hasn't been good in the last couple of games. That's all it is.
It's all right, and I think we are still. My like I said to you in the previous streams here, my main concern isn't actually the big 6 games. It'd be a trend if it was like a couple of like against Leicester, against Southampton in this run coming up. That if we were not playing as well, or we didn't get the results, or Palmer wasn't playing as well, that would be my main concern, because I want Chelsea fans this season to embrace the term flat track bully. So I want us to be flat track bullies, because that gets us more points than these top 6, these top 4 or top 5, top 6 games. Okay. That's what I want us to embrace, because that will get us more points. Palmer, but that's on Maresca as well, where you can question. That's up to him to sort out how to get Palmer back to what he was last season, or in some or to get the Brighton performance in the rest of the games. That's up to him to do. Now that's whether that's before game or in-game management. And you're right. And Cuckoo. We are just. I think we just. Are we trying to find nitpick problems, because the last couple of years?
I don't think we are. We're not playing.
It's been so easy. But the problems where everyone was playing rubbish, the manager was rubbish, and stuff like that. It was so easy to. And we're actually seeing little green shoots of recovery where maybe when people say standards FC, we are talking about standards, because now we're seeing what the team could potentially do in some games that. We want them to continue to do that, but it's just it's one of those things. It's hopefully we get that sorted. We can still carry on these things or discussions, but the results don't. We don't lose games, right? Because we've only lost twice this season. We need to turn more draws into wins, because draws actually kill you more than defeats sometimes in these top 4 races. So.
And it's especially against like the teams that we need to be beaten, right? Like
11 games.
The Arsenal result, for example, like. The only reason it annoys me is because how crap Arsenal are. But like on paper, like if you take that as in a vacuum, that's not a bad result. Like against the Arsenal team that have challenged for the league the last few seasons, like that's not a bad result. The United game, again, it's not a terrible result in a vacuum. Like we never beat United away. We just never beat United. The games that we needed to be winning were the Palaces, the Forests, like those ones. Those are the ones you can like really scrutinize and go into and whatnot, especially from like maybe an attacking point of view. I look, by the way, as well, just because I was trying to find this for Jackson, because I assume we're going to end up talking about him, but I end up finding it from a team perspective. Of the teams in the league so far that have taken more than 200 shots so far this season, there's only one team above Chelsea in terms of conversion rate, and that's Nottingham Forest. We have, in total, the 4th best conversion rate as a team in the league.
Yeah, but Scott, I said this on most channels. It's the weirdest start to the season I've seen in a while. There's so many teams that are like literally top 4, but one loss away from literally being in 10th. And it's the same way you're saying now. I'm sorry.
No, that's how
Nottingham Forest have the best shot conversion. Are you having a laugh?
No, they have the 3rd best shot conversion.
3rd best. Sorry, that just speaks volumes about how rubbish this league's been so far. And this is why I'm talking about. That's rubbish.
It's an improvement on Forest, or you could have the same argument that Forest have improved.
Yeah.
Or you took up Man City, who can't bloody win. Your Arsenal are struggling to win.
Man City's, yeah, but then we look at Liverpool, right?
They're the only team.
No one expected.
They're the only team. Liverpool are the only team that are consistently winning.
They're only 5 points ahead of City.
That's a lot of points, man.
No, it's not.
5 points. That is a decent amount.
Bro, we've seen Arsenal drop it. Hang on, how many points ahead of what Arsenal? Like 13, 11, something like that, and drop that many points. Like,
listen,
this is what happens. If we're having this conversation, by the way, the thing is, the reason why I will not go like in depth in all of this is because we are 11 games into the season. We can have this conversation at the end of January when we've like the January window is gone, when squads have updated, when transfers have come in, and we can go and see like where we are at that point. Because like right now, like you said, there's 4 teams on 19 points. There is like 4 points between 3rd, I think it is, and 11th. Like United, for example, are like 2, depending on results, are 2 wins away from being in a top 4 race.
But that's what United exactly.
Table, outside of the bottom like 5 teams, and like Liverpool and City, like the whole middle of the table is like within like a win of each other. That's just the number one. That's the state of this league. It's shit. in general, by the way. That's top to bottom. Even the top teams aren't that great. And it's also just how it is at the start of the season. Like, I'm not, like, as I said, we're 11 games and I'm not really expecting anyone to break away from anyone else. Really.
My main issue that I was talking about is that, okay, we can't sit here and ignore that a couple of weeks ago, we were talking about the mad run that we have. Newcastle United, Liverpool, we agreed that was a hard run. So I think it may be slightly harsh for me to sit here and say, why isn't Palmer doing this like he used to? Why isn't Madueke doing this like Jackson, etc.? That's maybe a bit harsh. But I just hope now in the upcoming games, even Leicester, go back to the way we were playing and set up the same way we were playing against Brighton and Palace and Wolves. Go for the team. Go for the win. Because like I said earlier, I feel like why can't we do that? Yeah,
but I'm saying he might. I'm saying he might. I'm saying he probably will. He probably will do that because it's different levels of opposition, right? Like you said, this run of that, was the league game. Was one where people were saying, "Oh, it's going to be tested." Oh, Chelsea, how many points they're going to get. The real disappointment, obviously, for me, is the Man United performance. That's the biggest disappointment because, like, if we just concentrate Cole Palmer was the man marked in that game. He had freedom to do what he wanted, and the rest of the team was rubbish on that day. Liverpool won. Yeah, we got the pat. Like I said in the previous team, we got the pat on the head, good performance thing, but we still lost due to individual mistakes. Arsenal, we have a disagreement. I think me and Scott thought we played well against Arsenal. You didn't think we played well against Arsenal. It's one of those things. Now you're right. Now it's a point of games coming up. Maybe you take the Aston Villa and Spurs one away, but the other four where you go, he could play those sort of tactics against those teams, especially like the next two out of the 3 games. He should be looking to. Maybe you'll get your 6 goals again, like you keep banging on about, even though we've only done that once.
I just think we've got too many good attacking options to be playing the way we're playing, and I just feel like you look at it right now. There has to be a reason to why all of a sudden Madueke is struggling, or Palmer struggling, or Jackson struggling.
Haven't we got to also credit though? Don't we listen?
You don't credit. Who's going to credit? We're going to credit.
The Arsenal game, haven't we got to credit? It's not as if we're going up against like you said. We're not going up against Southampton. Arsenal, they're not in a good form, but they're still a good enough team to. We saw it even in the second half against Inter Milan. We have to credit the opposition sometimes and go, yeah, they done us like Liverpool done us. Jones done, the way they put Palmer in a Smith essentially. They took Palmer out of the game. Curtis Jones done a number on us. We sometimes we are going to come up against, and that's where you can go against Maresca and go, okay, well, how are you going to sort this out so it doesn't happen next time, right? That's where you can criticize him and go, or even in game, how do you sort this out in game? Like we said in the previous stream, it's okay if Palmer's not playing well to possibly either move him to the right or even completely take him off. Do you know what I mean? If it's not if he's not having a positive impact on the game. Same with Jackson.
That's one thing I want to see. That's one thing I want to see.
And you're right. The biggest criticism for me of Maresca is his subs, the timing of them.
It's a joke.
The Nkunku sub against Arsenal was just preposterous.
It was
like 7 minutes. It's like 7 minutes, 8 minutes. What's the point? We all know people need to get into the flow of the game as well. Do you know what I mean? What's he gonna do when stuff like that? So you can have criticism. Like if we're sitting here, whatever the first week of January, and we're looking back and going, how the hell have we only got like 8 or 10 points out of this run? Then we can have a real go and go this, and we're playing like you said. We're the only way, and we're playing like we are playing and not getting the results against those teams. Then we need to take a good microscope to it and go, this needs to change, or else we're only going to be in a battle for top 4. We're not going to be clearing top 4 and trying to move on to the top 3.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Especially because we've seen it work. That's another one.
Exactly,
Especially because we've seen it work. We've seen us play good football, attacking.
Yeah.
Okay, even on defense, I'm like, it's not like, I mean, to be honest, there were certain parts in the game at the start of the season where our defense was wide open. But I think also you could say that Colwell and Fofana individually have improved since the start of the season. So that could improve. That could help us. I think Colwell, especially.
There's still need work on, but I understand what you're saying. I know it can be frustrating to go, but I just think maybe one of the things Maresca needs to do is to be a bit braver in these bigger games. Do you know what I mean? Be less conservative, be a bit big. Even though I thought we created a lot more chances than Arsenal in the game, but even away even away at Manchester United, we should have won at Man United. I'm not in terms of how we played on the day, but just overall, we should have gone. I know the record will go against us, but this is Man United on the floor essentially. You know what I mean? I know Van Nistelrooy had just come in, but we should. Yeah. Man United the only way Man United were ever going to score against us was a penalty. There was nowhere else they were going to score against us, but we didn't assert ourselves. Do you know what I mean? So it's okay. It's okay giving a plucky performance against Liverpool, stuff like that, pat on the head. Oh, didn't you do well? Didn't you do well against Liverpool? Oh, you're so good. And stuff like that. But maybe even going against the first game against City, I thought he paid too much respect to City. You know what I mean? Should have gone a bit. I want us to be more, not overly aggressive or leave ourselves open, but be a bit braver and a bit more assert ourselves when we can. At least run a game to assert ourselves. Every single game, we should be coming out going, wow, we completely controlled that game. Whether it's 1-0 or 2-0, or whether it's close or not, or 2-1, but at least we could come out and go, do you know what? Even though the scoreline was close, we completely controlled that match. Do you know what I mean? That's where we should be coming out of these games.
I'm being honest, and people might say I'm being too optimistic. I'm expecting a minimum of 20 points between now and the end of Ipswich.
This is what I said. The
only two games I'll allow us to drop points in is Villa, because I think they're the one team that can catch us on a counter attack with the guys they've got up front. I know it's a home, but still, and Everton away because we never win there.
Right.
It's
well,
like,
you know what?
That Tottenham game, by the way, I don't care that we're away, and I don't care. Like that Tottenham game, we smashed them. That's a high line against a shit Tottenham team who we batter every single time.
Scott, do you know? I included getting wins over Villa because we've got a fairly good record. I remember the other game I went was because we never beaten them at home in the Premier League was Brentford. That was the end. I know, but we haven't never beaten them at home in the Premier League, and it was like we need to get Everton. Trust me, guys. If you haven't done this before, look at our record. Not you guys. Anyone in chat look at our record at Everton. It is absolutely shocking at Everton. Bro, even our championship teams, even our best teams up there, we have dropped points or lost games. It's been appalling.
Yeah, I was gonna say I went to Everton away when we were under Tuchel. I can't remember what year it was. Where Richarlison scored.
I think it was 22, right? Was it 22?
I think it might have been.
Under Frank?
That sounds about right.
It was under Frank, right? They beat us 1-0 or something like that.
Yeah. No, I don't think it was under Frank. It was definitely Tuchel was the manager.
No, they were under Frank. Sorry, they were
under Frank. Yeah, that was one of the worst games I've ever witnessed.
Bro, we went up there with Ancelotti. We were cruising with Ancelotti, a double winning team. We lost 2-1 to these guys. We won our opening 9 in 05-06. We won our opening 9 games, right? Opening 9 games, yeah. Gonna win our 10th, and we dropped points to these guys. They scored first. This is what I'm talking about. This record at Everton is. Didn't we lose like 3-1? I know we beat them 6-3 one season, Marino, and then we lost 3-1 the next season. It's just bonkers our record up there. It's mad.
Like, what outside of that Everton game and the Villa game, and I said even then we can win. Like we probably should have won the game last year that we played.
Augusto got sent off, didn't he? And Sterling did one of his
the reverse thing where
if you remember at home, remember at home, Gusto got sent off, and then Sterling did one of his no look or no pass things when someone was.
I do remember that Gusto one.
And the thing is like because that then puts us in January, and then we have like a bit of a harder run because it's like a few away teams like Palace.
We've got City away in January.
But like if we get like those points and we have that run that I'm talking about, even if we drop those points against Everton or whatever, no one's gonna care like about the run we just had, because even as bad as we have been in terms of like we've not been at our best against United, against Arsenal and whatnot, we're still third. We are still third ultimately, and it's like I look at the teams around us, and Arsenal to me, I don't see them really getting any better. They still look garbage. I don't expect Forest to keep up the same momentum. Like we just saw them lose to Newcastle before the international break. And even with Brighton as well, it's the same of like, as good as they have been, I think the way they play football, they can be got at. So it's like it's kind of similar with us, but like I expect us to be in the mix for top 4. And ultimately that's the goal for the end of the season.
Villa, Southampton, Tottenham. Oh my god, that's Brentford at home. 7 o'clock. What the hell on a Sunday?
Yeah, makes sense.
Yeah, it's just weird. Yeah, it's a TV game or something or something like that. So yeah, Shamrock. Yeah, and then Everton, and then Fulham.
Because then we get to January, and then
Palace
away, Bournemouth at home, Wolves at home. Even, bro, I'll be real. That January fixtures as well.
Like, right. Yeah, we're talking like
Wolves might be an interesting one because they may have a new manager, right? And they actually have a good team. It's just I don't know what is going on with that club, and they might have a new manager. And then City's a write-off for me. Every single season, City's a write-off. I don't care that they're crap. To me, City is always a write-off. Bournemouth,
maybe a draw.
Maybe a draw, probably not.
Yeah,
but like
maybe.
Again, that's not
but
a game.
Palace early in January, I think. No matter what you think about how they play, sometimes Palace is always a bit weird in terms of like we never really go there and like batter them. Do you know what I mean? Or something like that. I think we've done it once in the last few years when thinking under Tuchel, I think we batted them 3-0.
Yeah, Ziyech scored that last minute winner. I remember.
That's right. Yeah, Ziyech scored that last minute winner. Gallagher.
That game. I think that's the same game that pissed me off. He played a back four with Christensen at right back and Sarr at left back.
Yeah,
for no reason. That bro, I love Tuchel. That guy was a terrorist that game. He played Pulisic as the number 10 and played Havertz on the left wing. Like that was a disgrace in the game. That was disgraceful.
Respect this guy. Respect Ziyech.
He didn't even have the shirt on. That's embarrassing. That's the most embarrassing thing. He didn't even have the shirt on.
What do you mean? I took it off specifically for that moment.
No, sure. Why is it like you're wearing a jumper or something? What is this?
I don't know. What it was Under Armour rubbish, man. I don't know.
Under Armour.
Anyway.
No, that was an Under Armour.
Oh, no, hold up. This is my show now, bro. How about that?
Boo.
Listen, big up to everyone's locked in, man. Make sure you like, subscribing, man. Show some up to the channel. One thing I did mention is Enzo Fernandez needs to be starting more if we're going to play better football. I mean, Scott, I don't listen. The way I see it, I think Chelsea play their best football with one of Caicedo or Lavia need to be benched. It's a sad truth.
No, like,
what do you mean? No,
not one of. No, not one of. Only one of those is getting benched.
No, they have to.
No, they don't. But bro, of those two, Caicedo should never touch the bench ever this season.
Okay, Lavia should touch the bench then, no problem.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, bro. It's Lavia has to touch the bench.
Okay, and you start Enzo.
No, but like the thing is with Enzo, right? We've had this conversation before. Like with Enzo, it comes down to what are you going to lose with what you gain on the ball? Because like we know what he can do on the ball when he turns up. You know, you look at the Brighton game, the West Ham game. We saw what he can do there. Liverpool last season, but we've also seen what can happen when he doesn't turn up and when he looks disinterested and looks like he can't be bothered and looks like he doesn't know what a football is. And like unfortunately, we've seen both sides of Enzo this season. And in fact, we've seen more of the latter than the former. Like, he has been crap this season. We can say we miss him when he's not in the team, but outside of 2 games, he's been crap this whole season. Sorry, 3 games if you include.
But how many has he really started?
All of them until Lavia got fit. All of them.
Well, that's like the last
until the Liverpool game. Until the Liverpool game, I think. Oh, no.
No, I don't think he did. He start City? I don't know if he started City. Oh, yeah, no, we did. We played 3. We
started City. He started City.
Yeah, he started up until Liverpool. I think he started every single league game.
Right. Okay.
And he's been crap in most of them.
City he started. Wolves he started. Palace he started.
And
West Ham he definitely started.
West Ham and Brighton.
And Brighton. Definitely started against Brighton.
Yeah, Bournemouth he didn't start. Bournemouth he didn't play. But in general,
he didn't start against Bournemouth. He was against Bournemouth. Yeah.
Brighton he started. I think he played a crazy passes to weak.
This is a high line.
Brighton and West Ham. He's been those 2 games that stood out. Every other game, Wolves, Palace, City, all of these other games, he's been crap.
But the
he could like I can see him definitely starting against Southampton because of rotation, because it's midweek and something like that. So you can definitely do that. We'll start all the Conference League or something like that. So you know, still got a place. Still got a part to play. It's just you do lose we do lose. Even like he helped create a goal against Arsenal, but we definitely lost something when they were controlling all that midfield. We took Lavia off. That's why they had more possession and were able to create that chance at the end. That's why Odegaard started to play well, because we gave up the midfield. Odegaard wasn't doing shit before that. I know he created the goal, but he wasn't doing anything else apart from that.
Well, I mean, listen, you might criticize individually Enzo Fernandez, but I'm saying the whole team in general, and I think our main man, Cole Palmer, I think Cole Palmer plays better with Enzo Fernandez. Well, the way but maybe we need more games. Maybe it's just the big games that is having a big impact. But I think down the line, I think we're going to see the same issues.
No, I don't think so. I think there's going to be different tactics because of the level of opponent we're playing. It might change for the Villa game and maybe the Spurs away game, but I think the other 6, 7, 8 games, I think they'll be different from the last 4 that we played. Obviously, tactic wise.
The thing with Enzo is, like, as I said, like, Enzo has a place in this team sometimes, but like there are games he can't play. He should not touch the pitch, or at least not start against Villa. Not a chance, by the way. He should play that game against Villa. He'll get eaten alive by Onana in that game. Eaten alive. But like Leicester, cool. Southampton, cool. He should play those games and should perform. Because if he doesn't, then I'm looking at him weirdly. Even Tottenham, he should play that game probably, because like we saw what happened last season.
A high line, yeah.
Like Brentford might be one where you rotate him out.
I wouldn't start him against Brentford. Brentford.
Everton might be one as well. I don't know, but like Fulham, he can start. Ipswich, he can probably start.
I think he should start every home.
You just got to find the right games to play him in, because you know what his limitations are in this team.
I will. You could argue. I just say start him every home game.
No, like we just said against Villa, he would get. Against Villa, we just told him.
We are at home.
Why do you start him every home game?
Because we're at home. We're the front. We should be going for the win because we're a home team.
That's because it's a home game. We're at home.
Anyway, guys, make sure you like it. I know. Make sure you like and subscribe, man. Listen, big up to John James. You're third via the goal difference. You're not as good as you think you are. We shall have scored at the end of our game against you. So all this would have beat United bullshit is just that bullshit.
Okay, well, we should have scored 3 or 4 against you. Then that goal at the end doesn't count. So what we're doing revisionist if-isms, are we? We're doing that, are we?
All of this we're third via goal difference.
How about you don't score? How about you don't score if our goalkeeper covers the front post? How about that?
No, I'm looking at he's a United fan.
United fan. You were only scoring against us for a penalty. You weren't scoring against us any other way. We played rubbish against you. I admit that. But you know what? You weren't scoring any other way apart from the penalty, which our bozo goalkeeper gave away.
All this chat from 13th is jokes. It's so funny to me.
Big up John James, man. No, it's because Enzo switches the ball to the wings after one touch, while both Lavia and Caicedo always try to drive with it. So because of that, wingers get limited 1v1. Well, I mean, we haven't really seen a lot of 1v1 opportunities, really, kind of.
That's if he gets time as well. That's if he gets time to do that as well. Sometimes he's just too slow on the ball. He doesn't get enough time to do that.
Yeah, I've seen so many games, particularly this season as well, where Enzo has had too many touches on the ball and has been closed down and can't do this. He has the ability to do this. Don't get me wrong, he has the ability to do this. So does
I think he's played well. I think he's played well in 3 games, and the difference is because their midfield was the opposition midfield was completely either not there or it was a high line. It was against Brighton. It was against West Ham, against Wolves. That Wolves didn't have a midfield that second half. That's why Jackson was just literally dropping back and he was able to pass it forward and stuff like that. In other games, we've seen it. Okay, he had a good assist type against Arsenal and stuff like that. But we basically left Caicedo. We basically had no midfield because I think Caicedo actually played more on the right to help Reece James finish that game against Arsenal. So essentially, we had no midfield.
Andrew, I'll tell you what, if people want to see a game where Enzo Fernandez doesn't get time and space on the ball, which will happen against the likes of Onana for Villa and other games against more physical midfields, go and rewatch that cup game against Newcastle where he spanked.
I just respond to John James.
Awful.
United weren't scoring any goal against us apart from a penalty. You weren't scoring anything against us. We weren't either until that Caicedo.
I'd say that was probably ended 0-0 or 1-0.
Yeah, that was ended 0-0, bro. That game was. As always, that fixture now is one of the worst fixtures in the Premier League. That fixture, Man United. It stinks. Okay, we were both rubbish. We played rubbish against each other. You scored a penalty. We scored a banger. That was it. There was no one deserved to win that game more than the other. It was a horrible game.
Yeah, going back to Enzo Fernandez quickly, like go and look at that Newcastle game in the cup. Like, go and look at that disgraceful performance he put out, where he was asked to do things that we've been asking for him to do the whole season, dropping deep to collect the ball like Jorginho used to, not going too far up the pitch, being close to his midfield partner. All of that he had the ability to do against Newcastle. Playing against the midfield, by the way, I just looked to make sure of Willock, Tonali, and Longstaff, and he looked awful. He looked like one of the worst players on the pitch. So unfortunately, that's
I just think hopefully down there.
He needs to play some games, obviously, because there are games that are going to suit him, like Leicester, like Southampton, like Ipswich. But Villa, he should not start not under any circumstances. Everton, I don't think he should start under any circumstances. Those teams that are going to be physical with you are going to get in your face. Outside of Tottenham, just because they are so atrocious, like when it comes to that high line and it comes to him being able to pick those balls. But if you can get Lavia to do that, then I'd even drop him for that. Like any game where they're going to be in your face and physical, Enzo Fernandez should not start because more often than not, he's shown he can't handle it.
Yeah, I think it's slightly harsh, but I do get what you're saying. Slightly. Guys, make sure you like and subscribe, man. 90 of you guys in here. Let's get the likes up, man. Now let's talk. Because there's a lot of people talk about Sanchez straight away, man. I know a lot of people love Sanchez.
I just said no one deserved to win that game, John James. You're not listening, are you? I said no one deserved to win that game. For Christ's sake. Active listening.
Listen.
Active listening.
A top goalkeeper, a top centre back, top striker. We need to have this non-negotiable. You're not winning big games in the league with players like Sanchez and experiments like Noni and Jackson. Wow, Noni's caught straight.
I agree with the three of those, by the way.
So, out of these three players, who should be starting?
Oh, the three he's just mentioned, Jackson.
We'll get into the striker a bit later. We'll get into the striker a little bit later. But yes, a lot of people are agreeing. Yes, Sanchez is the problem. The root of a lot of our problems defensively, honestly, feeling replacing him saves at least 4 to 6 points this season. Well, I mean, he's also saved us a lot of points this season as well. You know,
he's balanced it out.
He's balanced out. He has balanced out.
It's like one game or like two games.
What do you?
But the thing is that we can't. The thing is though, we can't. We can't risk this. This is the problem, right? Because you're always like, whenever the ball, you want to feel comfortable when the ball goes back to the goalkeeper that everything's going to be okay. Yeah, when he's going to come out, he's going to collect the ball. Everything's going to be okay. It's not just one thing that he does that makes you doubt him. It's several things that make you doubt him, right? In terms of coming out sometimes to punch the ball, coming out too far. The penalty gave away.
I disagree. I think apart from his mistakes in the big games, in terms of giving away the penalty and not coming out quick enough, he's been fine. I think demanding his box, collecting the ball. Come on, man.
Did you notice against Arsenal, right? And this wasn't picked up apart from, I think Gary never picked up. There was a thing in the first half where Arsenal had a free kick and Gary Neville said, "Oh, I see Sanchez on the 6-yard box. He's obviously come out to catch it." When no one was around him, he punched it like that. That's the decision making I'm talking about. Could have comfortably caught it. He decided to punch it against Palace. A direct shot against him at home. He decides to punch it. Right. It was only because the shot was so powerful it skimmed off his knuckles and went over. The second goal City scored, the Kovacic, that blistering shot from Kovacic that went slightly near the top corner, even though Sanchez got a hand of it. The two goals against Brighton, no one talks about them, like I said to you previously, because Palmer had a history-making game. The second goal against Liverpool, when he should have come out faster and made himself bigger, he comes out slower and makes himself smaller, like that. Great game against Bournemouth, no problem. Good saves against Nottingham Forest. However, the save he got save of the month for, he kicked that to a Nottingham Forest player, and then he went on to save it. That's what I'm talking about. And I think there's another one that's at the top of my head that escapes my mind. I can't think of it, but that's the things here. Even our defenders are uncomfortable passing back the ball sometimes. You see them turn around, and they look like they're going to pass it, and then they remember that Sanchez is their goalkeeper. They'd rather try and do a trick against the striker and then pass the ball out. He's just not, and he's just not it. He's going to put. I don't see him dramatically improving. He's always going to be a cap for us. And the problem is Maresca's backing it, so I have to criticize Maresca because he keeps picking him, right? Do you know what I mean? So that's going to be, if we do fall out, I think he's going to cost us more and more as the season goes on. Hopefully not, but I'm just not. You need a good goalkeeper. There's no successful team that's had a mediocre goalkeeper. Now, all goalkeepers make mistakes, but they're very limited. Do you know what I mean? They're very limited. Like Alisson's made mistakes, but they're limited. Edison's made mistakes at Man City, but they're limited. The great Peter Cech made mistakes at Chelsea. Limited. Yeah? Limited. This guy, like I said in the summer, if we got a goalkeeper and a striker, top four would have been the minimum I expected this season. Now that we don't have those, and it doesn't look like we're going to replace the goalkeeper, especially in January, we're in a top four battle, a race, not an actual sealing it and moving on to third. And yeah, well,
no.
What does that say? What does that say that arguably, like in Ortega and Kelleher, they're both better than our two goalkeepers? They're number twos. Kelleher is a very good goalkeeper. We've seen it, and now he's playing a lot more games over the last few seasons because Alisson gets injured quite a lot. You know, stay away from Kelleher. Okay,
gladly.
Stay away from him. Why? I thought he's good.
Nah.
Yeah, but listen, I
just remember there being a load of chat about him last season, like saying that he wasn't as good as everyone thought, like from Liverpool fans, when he like him making mistakes and wasn't as good as everyone thought he was last season. Like the only number two I'll take in this whole league is Ortega, and that's because I've watched him play it. He is like unreal. Like he could easily start for City. The fact that they were willing to sell Edison in the summer tells me that they trust him enough to start for him on a consistent basis.
You would have to look at Liverpool and go, what does it actually say about Kelleher, though, if they've signed Mamashashvili? Right?
Oh, so yeah, that's a
good point. That's what I mean. Like, you do have to look and go, well, if Kelleher's that good, then why aren't you guys like, you know?
Yeah, toxic Tash, fraud. But listen, the thing of Sanchez, yeah, I can't excuse the shit he did against Man United, Liverpool, Arsenal. That's three massive games.
I forgot about Arsenal. Yeah, you're right.
I even forgot about Arsenal for a second. Like, You can't be doing those things. Like that, I can't excuse. But my thing is, from the start of when we signed Sanchez, I don't think anyone ever gave the guy a chance from when he walked in at Chelsea. And I think even when he had good games, no one praised him. And when he had one bad moment, everyone ran on him and killed him. But right now, you can't excuse it. And I still think we can get top four with him. But if he's
we're more in a battle than actual like concrete top four, right? We're more like
we don't want Tottenham.
It's a race. It's a race instead of like us cementing ourselves in there with confidence. That's what it is. That's what
we don't want. We don't want to rely on Tottenham again to get us top four.
Right, exactly. You don't want to be going into the last three games needing to win. You want to be concrete in there with 10 games to go in top four that you're not going to be overtaken and stuff like that. So
yeah. That's what it is really, and you can't really excuse that. But now it looks like to Maresca, you've got to put your foot down and take Sanchez off or replace him, because it's the same thing with Moni Madueke. For me, it was the same thing with Madueke, with Jackson. Because one thing I like Maresca, and I'm sick of these managers saying something and then they act on it a little bit and then they completely change their mind. The main thing Maresca always said was, if you're not performing well or you're not training well, you're not going to play. Well, we saw that for a little bit at the start of the season when he hooked off Sancho at halftime, he hooked off Neto at halftime, and all of a sudden, it's gone because Jackson is consistently not performing and he's still starting. Noni Madueke is consistently not performing and still starting, and the same with Sanchez. So switch it up a little bit.
I think
Madueke is a little bit different, but I hear you with Sanchez.
Why is Madueke different? Because he drops back.
There's different.
No, I think the thing with Madueke is like no one wants Mudryk to start. Like, I'll be so honest, as good as he has been, no one really wants Mudryk to start in the league. And we didn't have Sancho. If Sancho was fit, then I think Madueke gets dropped. I just think it's because Sancho was the team. So. That's why I say it's a bit different.
We might see if Sancho's gets healthier.
Yeah. If Sancho is now back and Madueke is still starting, then that argument can be had. But that's why I allow it, because I think if Sancho had been fit, he would be starting ahead of Madueke, and you would have seen Pedro and or Neto, sorry, and Sancho playing. But yeah, he does need to drop Sanchez. Like the thing I'll say about Sanchez as well, and I keep saying this, and I disagree with what you said earlier, Ziad. Like he's been a net negative since he came to the club. Like I didn't want him when he came because I knew he'd be like this. And lo and behold, he's been like this under two managers, under two different systems, with different guys at the back. Like he's played in terms of centre backs in front of him. He has had what? Silva, Disasi, Badiashile, Colwill, Fofana, Tosin. Must have forgetting anyone. 6 different centre backs in front of him. Chalobah a little bit as well. 7 different centre backs in front of him, and he has been shit.
Do you know what made me? Because last year he got injured. That's the only reason Petrovic came in. But Petrovic performed well, right? But the thing is that Petrovic wasn't fancied because of his distribution, and then maybe Petrovic sort of fell off at the end of the season, started making a few mistakes. But I would have thought, if you remember that, ironically, the FA Cup game last year against Leicester when Maresca was in charge of Leicester. And Sanchez's whole lackadaisical, like he wanted so much time on the ball. That was a crazy own goal by Disasi, but Sanchez was so far off his line. He was outside of the Pereira. But you would have thought, looking at that performance, that you would have gone, do you know what? I would have thought, do you know what? I can, because I think his distribution's average. I don't think it's up there.
Oh shit!
I can make Petrovic a decent. I can improve his distribution more than Sanchez's decision making because his shot stopping is good. I do not judge goalkeepers on shot stopping, so they should always be good. Yeah, the shot stop that should be mandatory, or you shouldn't be a goalkeeper if your shot stopping is not good. But decision making, I don't know. I don't know whether you can improve that. I really don't. I think it's because I think the best have had it from Dave Dot. Peter Cech's, I know we're talking about high levels here, but Peter Cech had it. Remember, he started playing for us when he's 22, and his decision making was awesome from that age. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. Even like Alisson was like 25, 26 when he went to Liverpool. Awesome. Edison, suspect maybe, but you know, it's just one of those. It's even Courtois' decision making from a young age was there on point. We are talking high level. Okay, look at Emi Martinez at Villa. Would you take Emi Martinez from Villa as a goalkeeper for us?
I think he's got a mistake in him as well, but I will take him.
Yeah, right.
I do think he's got a mistake in him as well, though. I don't know if he takes us to a title.
All right, but would you say his mistakes occur less or more than Sanchez?
No, definitely less. And
would you like? Oh no, I wouldn't. If we had Emi Martinez in goal, my anxiety levels wouldn't be as high as they are with Sanchez in goal. Do you understand what I'm saying? I think our defenders will also pass back to him. more than
But this is the problem with these goalkeepers. Like, I don't understand that. The way where I was sitting against Arsenal was basically right behind the goalkeeper. Right. And Havertz is like that far away from Sanchez, and Sanchez is like, yeah, go on, come get the ball off me. What do you mean, come get the ball off?
Yeah.
The goal is right there. Like, it takes a tiny touch for the ball to go into the net, and then you look like a clown. And then they take so long, wait for Arsenal to press high up, and then you got no options just for you to probably kick out.
Remember, did that sort. Remember his pass. Remember the game against Liverpool this season when he hit the ball off Szoboszlai.
He hit it off someone
in the first half, and it was only because the pass was so hard that it got back to him. Even last season,
no sense.
Even last season. Before he got injured, there were several things where he just about got away with conceded. And you don't need that, right? You don't need that. Imagine us watching it. Our anxiety level's already high. Imagine you're a teammate of his. Your anxiety level must be through the roof.
Because the thing is, he's a goalkeeper. He can see a lot of the pitch, a lot of the players at least. You can see a lot. And you pass to someone who's got someone a yard away from him. Yeah, what is he going to do? Do some next skill one?
Remember the second goal against Brighton? Look at the second goal against Brighton this season. Remember that goal? He literally just passed it. And it didn't even get to our player, did it? I think it went to, is it Baliba or his name is, or something like that?
Yeah,
that's what I'm talking about. But I think there's way more of that that could happen this season under Sanchez in goal. That could cost us. We just need to like against Brighton. We just need to be so far ahead that we don't focus on it. Do you know what I mean? That's what we need to do.
Yeah.
He is a net negative in goal. Like there's no positive to him. Like his saving, his like shot stopping is good, not great at best. His distribution is terrible, like especially long distribution. Never mind the short passing, which is equally as bad. His long passing is terrible. In 2 games, in 2 consecutive games, he had a long pass percentage of 3 out of 15, I think it was, against Arsenal, and then I think it was 6 out of 25 against even Manchester United or Newcastle. I can't remember which one. And then like his decision making as well. Like the reason why he does all these things we're talking about, where it's like, oh, Kai Havertz come press me when it comes to like the belabor thing. His decision making is terrible. Like you can see it like when it comes to, because you can see when it came to Petrovic last season. Like Petrovic has his faults and he's not an amazing keeper. I think he's a good keeper, but not amazing. But his decision making most of the time was very good in terms of I know what my limitations are. I know what I can do here. I'm just going to clear it. I'm just going to do this because I know what I'm doing. Whereas like with Sanchez, it looks like he's thinking on the spot. He's buffering. Like he's fully buffering as he's on the ball, like not understanding what's going on around him. And that's the biggest issue with him is like, regardless of anything else, you can't improve that at this stage of his career when he's already been the same. Like when it comes to decision making, by the way, this is the same thing that he was like at Brighton. It's been the same as when he was last season. It's the same internationally, by the way. I don't know if any of you saw the goal he conceded.
I saw that midway.
Boy, his decision making hasn't improved in like 5 years.
I'd take that Forest goalkeeper, Ziad. I'd take the Forest goalkeeper.
Thanks.
Over
he used to play for Strasbourg as well. He used to play for Strasbourg. That's jokes.
Dude, that guy looks about 90.
He's better than Sanchez.
He's better than Sanchez, bro.
Just I don't know. Mind you guys, Sanchez will be number 1 until the end of the season because we can't call back Petrovic in January, and Jorgensen's not ready to be number 1 at the moment.
I wasn't about recalling Petrovic. I just said Petrovic came in and was better than him.
This is so funny to me. Like, how do we know? How do we know that Jorgensen ain't it? Like, I don't think he's it to be like. My thing with Jorgensen is like he's always going to be like a number 2 in terms of if we want to get where we want to get to. But right now, how can you tell me he's not better than Sanchez? Definitively.
Plus, he's playing behind a makeshift defense, not like a defense that's picked all the time like Sanchez is playing against mostly this season, right? Jorgensen's playing like makeshift conference. He's playing with the Chuckle brothers. You know,
he's also played like 6 games.
I think he's played less. I think he's played 4.
No, he's played 6 because he played the 2 cup games, and then we played 3 and 4. I thought we played 4.
Oh no, Servette. No, you're right. He played both against Servette. You're right. Yeah.
Yes, he's played like 6 or 7 games.
Yeah, 6 or 7. Yeah.
How can you judge whether he's because I'm in the same position with Jorgensen where I was in with Petrovic last season. It's a little bit different because I had seen Petrovic play, but it's like you might as well play him because he cannot physically be worse. Even if he's just as bad, you then know. Okay, he's just as bad. That's an issue with scouting. Like, but right now it's like he can't be worse. He physically can't be worse. Unless he scores an own goal every game, he can't be worse.
By the way, if we had Raya against Arsenal, Raya's not conceding that goal at his near post.
Yeah, exactly. No way he is, yeah. No way he is.
That's criminal. That's probably, do you know what, Ziad? That's probably the worst goal he's conceded. So I'll tell you why it's the worst goal. Because as goalkeepers, you're always trained to cover your. That's the FIFA glitch in real life, Ziad. You know what I'm talking about? That goal against Arsenal. You never could, as a goalkeeper. He could have scored at the far. Could have scored at the far post or tapped it across. That happens, right? That's on the defense. You cover your front post all the time.
Especially when you're about 9 foot, bro. I'm sorry.
Yeah, exactly. It wasn't even close as well. It wasn't even like a little bit like inching it and stuff like that. It was a huge gap. That's the way Martinelli was able to score. It was a massive gap.
I think we're in agreement that this goalkeeper situation is definitely an upgrade. But in terms of striker, I was talking about Gyökeres, Osimhen, maybe even Omorodian. 12 goals in 13 games. He's young, strong, and a great skill set. He would fit right in. Or do we stick with Nico Jackson?
We stick with Jackson until the end of the season, at least.
So you wouldn't go for Osimhen in the summer, January?
No.
I think the striker situation, unless something weird pops up, I think the striker situation gets more clarified because I think Nkunku will leave in the summer.
Come on, Nkunku, man.
No. I'm just thinking. I'm okay. I think he will. I don't know if he will. I just think he will. because I've just got this feeling, especially if we bring another a striker in. By the way, it's not patting on if Nkunku goes, we bring another striker in. I think we bring another striker in, even if Nkunku stays or goes. But it'll be what type of striker? Because both strikers we're linked to are obviously going to be on high demand. Obviously, Man United are always going to be linked to Gyökeres because of Amarin and stuff like that. Arsenal linked to him. Who's going to be able to pay? Maybe City, no, not City. They got Holland. Maybe Liverpool might drop in for a striker or something like that. But I think what we have to do, whether we leave it, even if we don't sign to the summer, I think we have to get the deal done before the summer. Like, remember when we bought Ziyech, but we bought him after the transfer window. Like when we bought Pulisic, or even if we do it in January and just loan them back.
I think as well, no?
I don't think there's any point. And I'll be real. I don't think my whole thing with the striker thing comes back to like whether we actually need someone like that. Because I haven't watched enough of Gyökeres. I haven't watched any of League in Australia.
All I know about Gyökeres is the guy scores every game, bro.
No, he does. But like my argument with him and Omarodion, by the way, would be look who they're playing against.
Yeah,
like I would expect him to score basically every game with the level of competition he's playing against.
Say, though.
No, that's the only one where it's like, okay, you could say, but I need to watch more of him. I've seen one game / highlight of Osimhen and was not convinced that he's basically any different from Jackson.
Whoa!
Well, I saw him torch Spurs. I saw him torch Spurs.
That was it, bro. I watched the highlights of that game. He didn't impress me in that game.
No, whoa.
You're right. He should. You know what? You're right.
Osimhen, no difference to Jackson.
But no, go and rewatch. Go and rewatch the highlights of that Spurs game. Go and look at the 2 1v1s he misses and tells me if that's not that was Jackson from last season. That was literally Jackson.
Are you telling me there's no difference between Jackson and Osimhen?
Not a big enough difference. I'm spending 70 million on him. No.
Same answer. Whoa. Hey.
My God. I'm sorry. That's a
again. I probably have to watch more of him. But based on the one game I saw, I'm not impressed, bro. Like he's the same guy in terms of like you have to give him bare chances. He's had the most chances missed in I think in the what is it, the Europa League or whatever it is. Like he's missed like 10 big chances this season. And that's the thing. And ultimately, that's why for me, I'm waiting till the end of the season to see what Jackson does. Because if Jackson has a 17, 18 plus goal season in the league, I'm not touching. Bro, go and sign Omarodion and tell him you're sitting on the bench until Jackson has a bad game. If Jackson gets 17, 18 plus goals this season league, he's my number one going forward.
I don't see how you have Osimhen and Gyökeres on the market and say, yeah, let's stick with Jackson.
Because again, it depends on what he does. If Jackson goes on a goal drought for like 10 games, then it's a different conversation, right? But Jackson is currently on a rate where he's going to beat what he did last season. And he already got 14 league goals last season.
Yeah,
but they still wanted to replace him last summer. In the summer, they still wanted to replace him.
They did.
No, they didn't want to replace him. With who?
Sorry? No, we were literally this close away from getting Osimhen.
We were never
on Omarodion, we got the here we go for Omarodion.
Omarodion was not starting. If you think Omarodion was starting for us over Jackson, you're off your head.
Okay, forget Omarodion. We were this close to signing Osimhen. We literally spent the whole summer on the guy.
We were not that close. We were not that close to signing Osimhen.
Well, I think it does.
I
think what it does though is if Jackson does have a good season, I think other positions like goalkeeper and centre back become more of a priority than a forward. You still get a forward, but it's not like a starting forward, like Scott said. It'd be
notice, by the way, obviously the links are as what they are, but notice, by the way, who we're linked with striker. Duran still, the lap. These guys are not coming in and replacing Jackson. Notice who we're linked with centre backs. They're guys that you are theoretically going to come in and start. Like, you notice there's been a shift in terms of who we're looking at now because of the way Jackson started. Like, that's all I'm saying is like, if Jackson continues where he's at, if Jackson finishes this season with like around the same numbers he did last season, then yes, go and get Gyökeres, go and get Osimhen, 100%. But if he improves on last season and gets 70, bro, if he gets 20 plus goals, by the way, to me, he's our number one for as long as he wants to be. He's already might be world class. Because the level of trying to get 20 plus goals with no penalties is difficult.
You can see that.
But like that's what I'm saying. Is like wait till the end of the season. There are other positions. This goes back to I think the question on the title of like going to the next level. Strike for me isn't a next level thing right now because we already have someone who, if we just create enough chances for him, he scores the goals that you get from Osimhen. He scores the goals you get from Gyökeres. We've already seen that. The next level thing is centre back and goalkeeper because those positions stink.
I can't believe we're in this. All I got to say is get anyone but Osimhen. What, like, weren't we all dying for Osimhen in the summer? I wasn't, to be honest. I was like, I was never convinced with him.
No, do you know what it was? Is I think a lot of people when it came to Osimhen, and it's the same with Gyökeres now, and like I'm guilty of this as well. And this is why I said I need to go and watch more of them. You just see something like everyone sees Gyökeres. He scored 30 goals. He's on 16 goals in the league. He's playing for the best team in the league, by the way. Only of the teams in that league, there are 4 teams that spend more than 50 million on their whole squad, and he plays for one of them. So you expect him to dominate those teams. He played for under the best manager in that league, arguably. Well, actually, no, the best since Conceição left. The best manager in that league. You expect him to score these goals. It was the same for Osimhen. Osimhen's goal scoring record outside of that one season for Napoli isn't any like he gets double digits.
He also did do. I swear, he ripped up the
No, he gets double digits. Like, but I'm saying he's not doing any more than Jackson is currently doing. Is what I'm saying.
No, but I'm saying didn't Gyökeres rip up the championship?
Say again.
Didn't Gyökeres rip up the championship?
Oh yeah, 100%. But like, we have also seen that doesn't always. It does sometimes, but doesn't always.
Yeah,
I think Tony was a guy last summer.
I agree. I agree. But the thing is with Tony is I'd seen Tony. I'd watched him, and that's why I said, okay, I want him. It wasn't just the goal scoring. It's like this guy fits what we want to do in our system. Whereas with Osimhen, all I've seen really is I've seen that he won the league where he got great goals. Cool. Outside of that, I saw the one game against us against Lille. He was good. But then I've seen a game against Tottenham where he missed 2 1v1s, and the goals he scored, Jackson can score. Outside of maybe, I think, the second one, I expect Jackson to score the other one he scores. And I expect Jackson in the same positions. So that's what I'm saying. I need to just wait and see what happens. I'm not jumping the gun. I'll give you an example just before Andrew goes. I'll give you an example. Like centre back. I know I don't care. I don't care. We need a centre back regardless, right? I know we just need a centre back. We need a centre back. I'll jump the gun on that. We need a centre back. We don't need a striker right now. That can be a wait and see what happens.
So I've watched because obviously I've seen a lot of Osimhen, so I wanted to see this because I didn't watch a lot of Gyökeres, if that's how you pronounce it, last season. So I wanted to see a bit more. So I watched him a couple of league games, like especially against Porto and something like that, or Benfica, whoever it was. I also watched him a bit in the Champions League. Now, like all other strikers, he misses a bunch of chances, but that's just strikers. Just generally, they just miss chances. But I do like his overall play. I do like his link-up play. I do like his hold-up play. I actually think he's better than Osimhen in those 2 areas, actually. In those 2 areas, I think he is. And he scores all types of goals as well. I think but I also think there's some mad hate on Osimhen for some reason. I don't know why. Not like this panel, but just generally, stuff like that. It's an interesting thing because obviously we're not going to be the only clubs in for either one of them. But yeah, it all depends on Jackson though, doesn't it? Really, like if Jackson only does like 14, 15 goals again, then you're like, okay, we do need a better bagsman. Do you know what I mean? Like that, especially when he doesn't take penalties either. So it's just
other thing I think that'll be interesting. It's also to it's up to Andrew is going back to like the creating chance thing. Once Sancho comes back into this team and if Palmer gets back to his best and we see Neto get more comfortable, if we have those 3 behind Jackson, I want to see how many chances he's going to get in a game. Because if he can start getting the amount of chances that like you're going to hopefully give an Osimhen or a Gyökeres, then if he is then scoring those chances, who are we to say we needed another striker? Like everyone talked about last season. Oh, Jackson didn't score enough. He missed too many chances. We were giving him like 2 chances a game and expecting him to score both of them.
But also, someone just mentioned in the chat. I think it was Ibrahim. We should also probably put Isak in this conversation as well, because if the stories are to believe that this contract negotiation in Newcastle are stalling because of PSR and stuff like that, they don't want to overpay him, then he could be a potential target as well in the summer. Do you know what I mean? It's not just going to be about Osimhen and Gyökeres. Isak could easily come into that thinking If like Jackson's not the prolific, getting us 20+ league goals that we need, stuff like that.
I do have a feeling Tony was the one though, man. I was even.
I agree. I was calling for Tony. I was going. He's there. He's literally just there.
I mentioned multiple times. Yeah. I was even going to say. I was going to say Alvarez from City.
Well, we were linked to him. He's the same, isn't he? He's the same sort of thing with like Jackson in terms of not being that prolific. Do you know what I mean?
He's also having a terrible season currently, or he was. I don't know. If
he's got 7 goals, I think, right so far.
Oh, he's got better. Though.
He went for a lot as well, didn't he? He went for
he went for 70 odd. Yeah, I don't think they were going to pay that. I don't think they think he was worth that.
Yeah. Thoughts on Omar Marmoush?
I've got a couple of things about Marmoush that I'm not sure about. Number one is he plays in a 2-striker formation, which we don't play.
I've never seen him play.
He's been really good this season. I think at one point he was the top goal scorer in the Bundesliga. I don't know if he still is.
I think he's player of the month as well.
Potentially, but he plays in a 2-striker formation. Also, Frankfurt strikers have a history, as I found out the other day, of shitting the bed as soon as they leave Frankfurt. Basically every striker that they sell ends up being shit once they leave Frankfurt. I don't understand how or why.
Moani, Jovic.
Yeah, you had Kolo Muani, Jovic. Haller was decent, but never reached the same level.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is.
Man said he's coming Liverpool with his idol.
Look at the next message.
They're 5 years apart. What idol, bro? How can your idol be only 5 years older than you? Is that even possible?
Oh, Andre Silva. No way, Andre Silva, bro.
Oh my god, you remember Andre Silva?
I remember the hype around Andre Silva.
Yeah, I forgot, he's another one. Yeah, this is what I'm saying. All of them for some reason they go Frankfurt, they do bits, they leave. Nah,
he's Benfica. Wasn't he Benfica, Andre Silva as well? Am I right?
No, he was RB Leipzig. He was Real Sociedad.
No, he went to there, but didn't he? I think he started at Benfica.
Yeah,
I tell you what, I might not buy another player for Benfica for quite a while. That's all. They're not smelling that good over recent years. You know what I mean?
I don't know. It does depend on
Porto. Thank you very much.
Yeah, and it's centre back. Really, is centre back as big as we think it is? Really?
Yes.
Who's coming out?
No, it's not that. For me, it's just the options after Fofana and Colwell don't fill me up with a lot of.
Andrew, I'll go on further. Even those two themselves, I'll be so honest. Neither of them right now are performing good enough where I think they should be starting for us on a consistent basis.
Not even Colwell
this season.
No. Colwell has been. I think both of them have been good in moments. I think Colwell has been better, but I think you still see with Colwell, like the Arsenal game, there's still those moments where it says it all for me that Colwell is 21, 20. He's the leader in that back line when Reece isn't there. That's not good enough for me. That's unacceptable. For a guy that still isn't really a leader, I think he has the ability to be a leader with a few tweaks later down the line. He's not a leader right now. Fofana's not a leader, and I'm slowly losing my patience, even despite the Arsenal performance with him in general. For me, I would go and get 2 new centre backs. I'd go and get that Luke Haber guy that we're linked with if we can't get Bastoni, and I'd go and get Jonathan Tah. He's on a free.
That's not happening, Scott. Colwell's going nowhere. Colwell is going nowhere.
They don't expect but this again comes back to next level thing and what we expect. If we're going to have these 2 centre backs going forward, or even if Colwell is going to be the guy in defence, cool. You need to go and get a Tar next to him. If we go and get that friggin' Araujo guy, who's also 20 by the way, and in his first professional season as a footballer, full professional season.
Whoa.
I think it's second professional season actually. Second professional season as a defender, first for Benfica. If we go and get him to play next to Colwell, I'm gonna be fucking pissed.
I was thinking about the Barcelona role.
No, even him, he's a bozo as well.
You know who's
for me, it's a Tar. Go and get Tar or someone of that ilk. Bastoni plays on the left, but someone of him.
Do you know what? News came out yesterday when I said his name. If I do say his name 3 times, Carefree Lewis will appear. But there's reports come out yesterday that Andreas Christensen is not wanted. I'm just saying. Yeah. I'm just saying they put.
He's levels above every centre back we have. He's levels above every centre back we have. I'd bring him back in a heartbeat.
He's not better than Colwell.
Yeah, he is.
He is better than Colwell at the moment. Colwell's still very young.
He was better than Colwell when he left, and he hasn't got worse. It's just
let's get a guard, man. Let's get a guard.
Let's get what?
A good. Well, I don't know how you say his name.
Who?
A good. I don't know. Naif.
You mean the one that isn't playing for? He's not playing for West Ham, is he?
I think he left West Ham.
Who?
Oh, he left. Where did he go?
I don't know
about Morocco.
The Moroccan
Where the
centre
fuck
back.
did he go?
Who's the good?
I think I don't know how you say his name. I don't know his first name.
Man. I don't even know who he's still talking about.
The Moroccan centre back.
I still don't know.
He's on loan. Yeah, he's on loan at Real Sociedad.
Yeah, bring him back, man.
I'll put his name in the chat.
Antonio Silva at Benfica is still the same issue. He's a very young defender.
Naif,
so we're still talking about.
I think his first name's Naif.
Like people. Also, I said this.
No.
I think I said this. He's also left-footed, by the way. So he'd have to play left centre back. He'd have to play left centre back.
He's got 5-star weak foot, man. 5-star weak foot.
But he played on the left.
Oh, you mean the striker? Get in the Serie, bro. In the Serie, what a striker, bro.
Oh, shut up, man. You mean the guy? You mean the guy that's playing for the second team in Turkey? Why don't we just go and get Osimhen, who's playing for the top team?
Mourinho, man.
My thing with the centre back, by the way, is I have nothing against like Araujo or Silva or all these men when it comes to ability. They could be amazing. My issue is age. Like we already have young guys. We already have like guys who are in. Like I see people talking about bringing Anselmino into this team. Brother, are you high?
Oh God.
He's in his he is in his first full season as a professional footballer, and people want to bring him into this team. I don't care how good these guys are. I need someone who can play next to Colwell, like do basically what Silva should have done last season if he didn't fall off a cliff and if Pochettino wasn't a terrorist. Like someone to like not hold his hand as such, but help him through it. Do what Desai did for Terry. Do what Carvalho did for Terry. Do what Terry did for like Cahill and David Luiz and these guys. Do what Silva did for the likes of Christensen and Rudiger. Like we need someone like that. Having two young centre backs doesn't work because the most experienced one of the two has been the worst of the two this season, and the leader is a guy that's in his like again third or fourth full year as a professional footballer. Like I need someone, as I said, I need a Tar, I need Rudiger, I need a Christensen, I need someone like that who can help show these guys the rope.
Stop. How could you say Rudiger and then say Christensen?
They're both as good as each other.
What is it? Hang on, can I ask what is your thing with Christensen?
Yeah, what's your issue with Christensen? Christensen was actually better than Rudiger.
No, I can't lie. He was good. He was good at Chelsea.
Oh, okay. It's
no,
just
he was
thing.
good. I'm not gonna lie to you. Christensen was a good defender. I did.
By the way, we are not getting Turkey. We're not getting Turkey.
Yeah, I mean, listen, this Ibrahim and Turkey. I don't think there's a stream I've ever done where he hasn't mentioned Turkey in the chat.
Okay? I don't want Turkey.
You guys selling Noni for Turkey for 25 million. Turkey is the best 10 in the world on talent.
No, he's not.
We're getting Esteval next year. You know what I mean? It's like,
he's the best 10 in the world. Talent.
Yeah,
apparently.
I'm just saying. It's
centre backs. I don't want us signing a centre back under 26.
I just don't know if we'll sign Tar, even if he's on a free, maybe. But I don't think we'd
actually. That's the only reason why I think we'll get him is because he's on a free. Yeah. But like, I
don't know if we're rating that much either. That's the thing.
But for me, like them getting Tar, because right now I have a lot of question marks about its ownership when it comes to age. Like I didn't believe the whole under 25 thing when it came out, and I still don't really believe that. But it's not a good look when every single centre back you're signing is under 22. Outside of one guy you signed who was on free, because like Disasi will go, bro. Yeah. Outside of Tosin, if Disasi leaves, outside of Tosin, our most experienced centre back is Badiashile.
Yes.
I said Saliba. Okay, man. It's not.
Bro, if we could, yes.
Yeah, if you could,
Ending in a Y, but like that's bro. As I said, just I need Romero. I'd take, but you can't really play him and Colwell.
Who Romero? The guy that tries to kill every attacker.
Yeah, he'd be an improvement on what we've got, but like I don't really think you can play him and Colwell.
I tell you what, if they don't keep playing him, I'll fucking take Todibo at from West Ham. They're not playing him.
Are we just before we do wrap up? Are we scratching our heads on this Colwell hype? Or are we being harsh?
No, I think he's played. I think he's improved. Now he's playing in his centre back, but there's still a case for improvement. You know, he has improved, but he needs to improve still, and that's development. He's only 21.
Yeah, and I think it depends with the hype. It depends on what you thought he was going to be. If you thought he was going to be a generational centre back, yeah, that's finished. That's finito. He's not a generational centre back. He's not bro. Like generational centre backs at this level, like Saliba, for example, is arguably going to be a generational centre back. But you saw at like 20 when he was playing for Saint Etienne, not even Saint Etienne, when he was playing for Marseille. Like he was Marseille, I think, player of the season as a centre back. At like what 20, I think 21, 22, like around the same age Cole is. Like he's arguably going to be a generational centre back. Same with Silva. Actually, to be fair, Silva was kind of old when he ended up moving to Milan, but like he's not going to be that, I don't think. But he can still be arguably one of the best centre backs in the league. He just has things he needs to work on. He needs to stop the petulant stuff. He needs to work on his concentration out of the whole game. And he needs to work on his leadership, like his communication, like this whole hot-headedness. Like, it has to stop. Yeah. It's all right in moments, like we saw with Rudiger. It's all right in moments, but you have to know the times of when to use those dark arts for yourself, and when to be calm, when to diffuse the situation. Like he's doing like that's why I said he's not a captain. He's not a leader right now. But like in terms of ability, he has the ability to get to like best centre back in the league, but he has stuff to work on. But I don't think him and Fofana can work on that at the same time. That's why I think one of them needs to be dropped. Yeah.
Big up to Blue Blood. Big up to you, brother. New kit for the super chat. New keeper and Gyökeres, and we are winning the UCL 2026 up the Chelsea. Big up to you, man. So if you guys should choose, because I think it may be Gyökeres or Osimhen. I have a feeling it may be one of them. If you could take one of them, who would it be?
Gyökeres.
Yeah, Gyökeres.
Gyökeres. I can't lie. His goal scoring record in the championship is like I think he scored like 40 goals or something. I think
it's just what he's done. He's improved even from last season. He's set, unless an injury happens, hopefully not. He's set to even eclipse what he did last season for Sporting. Now I will caveat saying I don't know if the new manager coming in is going to play the same system that Amorim played. So we've got to bear that in mind as well. But he's absolutely ripping it up at this moment. So, like I said, I've watched him most Champions League games. He's absolutely phenomenal.
He has. I went and looked just because I was looking for Porto, second for Samu. He has double the amount of goals as the second place top goal scorer in that league. He has 16 league goals. He has 16 league goals in 11 games. They've won 11 games out of 11, by the way.
Yeah.
He probably the thing is he probably will end up at Man United because of Amorim.
Not necessarily.
Well, I think that would be the easiest link to make. Yeah, you're right. But from all reports, and they say this every year, but I don't know what their budget is in terms of like if they don't get in the Champions League again, and stuff like that. It's because he's going to be at least 65, 75, between 65, 75 million. They need to remember, they don't have any proper wing backs. Maybe Mazwari, but they don't have any proper wing backs.
Mazwari's a good player.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is they would need to do what Pep did. You remember that summer he bought like four fullbacks? Yeah. They probably need to buy like 3 or 4 wing backs to play that role because they don't have those players there at this moment. I don't know if Dallo could do a job at either wing back, but they need to buy other players as well. I mean, it's a fascinating thing.
Yeah. Anyway, guys, listen. Big up to every single one that's locked in, man. Make sure you like, subscribing on our way out. We are going to redirect and raid to Mr. Egal. I think he's got more on his channel as well, man. So listen, everyone go in that chat. Spam Ziad's raise. Big up to you, Andrew and Scott. Appreciate you guys coming on. We shall see what happens this weekend against Leicester. Hopefully a slapping. Hopefully we play attacking football. Enzo, something, man. Just go back to the old ways, man. Go back to the start of the season. I want my Chelsea back, man. Chelsea.
That is a ridiculous statement to make.
I want Chelsea back, man.
That is the most ridiculous thing you've said. Right there.
Yeah, man. Listen, let's get Ziad. Let's say something to Egal. Let's say, what do we say? What should we say for Egal? That's gonna Arsenal fans. Arsenal fans.
Ask him what. I don't know if this will fit in the message. Ask him why Arsenal need 3 new midfielders despite having Rice.
That's just long, Scott, man. That's long, man.
Arsenal needs. Bro, they need 3 different types of profile of midfielder. That's so fucking funny to me.
Yeah, let's put up the Chelsea.
Yeah, let's put proper Chelsea in the chat. Proper Chelsea. Let's go. Proper Chelsea. That's what I want. Proper Chelsea. Big up to all of you that's locked in, man. Go over there, show your girl some support. Spam proper Chelsea in the chat. From Ziad Raid in the chat. And yeah, man. Big up to all of you, man. Are you still in the league? Big up to everyone, man. Peace out, man.